Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of an Antares Moon, Flight boss the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now I want to talk about sex and astrology. Now, I know a lot of people may be used to the norm when we hear things about the attraction. So, you know, this makes sense, but we need to understand that this is just correlated with attraction. So this is what you may like from a person and what you may not like. And what am I talking about? Venus and Mars. So I know everybody are familiar with this, you know, so it correlates a little bit with the moon and a little bit with the sun and the ascendant sometimes. But you know, Mars and the moon got a heavy emphasis on what attracts you sexually and what throws you off sexually. So, but what you need to understand is, first of all, this Archangel Uriel, and then second of all, is always dealing with these are dealing with attractions, influences, lights. But the science I'm finna get into is going to give you the understanding of why you could be around someone who get on your fucking nerves, but on the flip side of things, they can fuck the shit out of you. You see what I'm saying? So this is how things get brought about, that people end up in relationships that's unhealthy for them emotionally or psychologically, but at the same time, they're in it for the feeling, they're in it for the sex and or whatever that. Because look, when we talk about Venus and Mars and the moon, so a person's sun could oppose another person's moon or conjunct it, that's a good attraction. Someone's moon could trine someone else's ascendant, that's a good attraction. Someone's sun can sextile someone else's sun, that's a good attraction. And a lot of intertwinings that the moon and Venus and Mars can make between each other are all good attractions. But remind you, these are attractions, and this is what attract you to a person. But when we're talking about the enact of the actual action of having sex, what actually matters is the modality and the planet. This is the only thing that actually matters. This is why you could relate to a person in a very fucked up way. You could be in a relationship with someone where the way y'all relationship is, y'all cuss each other out in a friendly way, or the way it could be an abusive relationship, whatever like that. But you still have sex with this person, and that's still the kind of connection and the bond y'all got. Now this is all on the modality and the planet. Now what do I mean by this? So in the action of having sex, this is why we have to look at everything as friction and transformation. You know what I'm saying? When two things come together, right? So regardless of the Mars and the Venus and the sun and moon, what's happening here is two frictions that is coming together. Two energies is coming together. Now when these two energies come together, friction could play out in two ways. It could be a destruction kind of friction or a harmonious kind of friction. Even though they're both forms of transformation, but it's just one is a pleasurable death, pleasurable transformation, pleasurable expansion and contraction, and one is a hurting one. You know what I'm saying? A unpleasurable one, a one that don't feel as great. So sex will be in this realm of reality as a friction, a harmonious friction, a coming together that feel good, a transformation that feel good. You know what I'm saying? A one that's not painful, a unpainful death. Transformation, in so many words, for lack of words. So when you understand this, is when you attract somebody with your Venus and Mars or this, that, and the third, all those conversations that y'all have, and the person you calling your friend and like, oh, this motherfucking get on my nerves and shit like that, all that gets set aside when you're in the bedroom, because in the bedroom the only thing that count is the planet and the modality. Now let's break this down. If you are a Libra, right, your modality is going to be cardinal, because Libra is a cardinal sign, so it's cardinal air, and so the modality is cardinal, and the planet is ruled by Venus. So these people, when you look at cardinal, that's initiating and creating newness, so it's forceful, or it's bringing in newness, and newness ways of love, appreciation, value, relativeness, compromising. So within sex, these people's actions, the friction that they give off is compromising, you know what I'm saying, indulging. You know what I'm saying? And they may deal with the intellect from time to time, but they're the ones who like to initiate. They initiate this kind of relationship within when they're having sex. So when they're relating to a person in the middle of sex, their actions is more dealing with compromising. You know what I'm saying? Appreciating, valuing, having the other person in mind. You know what I'm saying? Other than opposed in, let's say, Cancer. Now with Cancer in this, the modality will be cardinal, but the planet will be the moon. So the moon is dealing with the emotions and feelings and vibrations and connections. But then you got cardinal, initiating and creating new ways. So in the mix of a Cancer having sex, they are initiating, creating new ways of trying to deal with the emotions and feelings. So a lot of times, see, a Libra and a Cancer, when these two have sex, they may clash. It may not be it may not be always harmonious. Sometimes it may be kind of hurtful, not hurtful, but pain. But y'all know what I'm trying to say. Like, not as much as pleasurable, because what's happening here is the Cancer will be trying to search and find their own feeling within having sex. So they'll be trying to do positions and do things so they can get off. And the Libra will be more compromising, but a lot of times it'll be a forceful nature. So a lot of times the sex between a Cancer and a Libra will highly depend on the Libra, because a Cancer will be more concentrated on their feeling and their emotions, and they will be more looking at it as, oh, this person is not pleasuring me. Then opposed to the Libra, they will be looking at it more as, and okay, let me just give this person what they want, and they give me what, and we're supposed to bounce back and forth. This is how we're supposed to doing it, and this person is not doing that in the middle right now. So it'll throw the Libra off a little bit, but the Libra may play it off. But for the most part, that may cause the friction. If the Libra in a good mood and wanted, the Libra give all itself to the Cancer. But then you see at times that come clashy, to the point that both relationships the relationship between a Cancer and a Libra, this kind of relationship don't highly depend on sex. You see what I'm saying? So this would be more of a relationship that depend on other things than just sex. But right now we're talking about sex in astrology. So when we go to now, and you could do this with any sign. Now, as far as now a Gemini. So how a Gemini have sex, right? A Gemini modality is mutable. And what's the planet? Mercury. So Geminis in sex, they're more about the mind, thinking. They want the other person to think something about them. So they wouldn't even get into a sexual intercourse unless they was sure about what they was going to do and how they was going to make the other person think. And if they don't accomplish what they think they was going to make the other person think throughout it, the Gemini will put themselves in a bunch of mental boxes. So, you know, this is why Gemini likes to be free a lot of times also, because they got to have this down pat before they get fully involved. But for the most part, it's Mercury and it's immutable. So they like to change, be adaptable, and be able to relate in ways of thought and analyzing. So a lot of times they even think they won't even be curious enough to try to attract you to have a sexual intercourse with you if they don't think you match their kind of energy or things of that nature. See, Geminis think about this already. You know what I'm saying? They have to feel you, but their feeling ain't feeling it. It goes to the mental first. So they have to have some type of mental connection with you first. They have to get this impression off you first that, okay, y'all are into the same things, or maybe y'all can be, or maybe it can appear to be, or, you know what I'm saying? If these kind of thoughts not being around, then you're not even in their social field of even trying to be curious enough to put themselves in that world for you to see them. They're going to go based upon social, and they have to pick that energy up. So, you know, this is how you could look at, and then when you look at Scorpios, they back and support it. Look, it's fixed, and Mars and Pluto. So 50% of Pluto, then Mars. So that's fixated on a person, fixated on their own emotions and feelings. When something is fixated, it's condensed. It's like water settling in one spot. And we know anytime something water settle, boom, it turns into ice. So that'd be the fixed version of the water signs. Scorpio. So it's fixed water. So that's if water deals with emotions and feelings, and fixated being stable and stale in one's position. When it comes to astrology, Scorpios represents being fixated on one specific emotions and feelings at a time. It could be extra exciting or extra down and below and negative. No black or white, none in between. You know what I'm saying? And being in between would make them feel uncomfortable. So for the most part, they need now when we look at Mars is intent, willpower, passion, motivation, desire. So Scorpios is fixated on the desire, fixated on the passion. So they could go very deep when it comes to having sex. So this is why they like to try a lot of things, or a lot of times you may not get Scorpios that's so open sexually, but when they have sex, to them it transforms them. It's a sense of power and control. Scorpios like to use their sex, or use their fixated emotions and feelings, aka their sex appeal, for senses of power and control, because that's Pluto. Pluto is power and control. So Scorpios can use their fixated way of dealing with passion and desire. Everybody, when you get in your pleasures, you want to sit in that, right? Anytime you just got something brand new, you want to play with it all day. Your new phone or whatever like that, new car, you want to sit in it all day or whatever like that. And anytime you have sex, that's a pleasure. You wish you could do it all day before you climax, right? So this is what Scorpios like to do. They like to hold on to these things. This is why they may like to have sex a lot, or have sex a lot on their mind. So for the most part, it goes down. They take their passions and get fixated on their passions, because it's fixed water, and Mars. And then they get fixated on their passion, and then it transforms them, or they transform others. This is why a person may have a person who ain't a Scorpio may have a sex with a Scorpio and be like, man, this chick done changed my life. Or you may be a girl and vice versa, and be like, man, this dude, that was the best time I ever had. You know what I'm saying? Because it was transformative. It was power and controlling. It was a sense over and things of that nature. So, you know, once you look at things in this nature, this helps you understand things on a broader perspective on the action of sex. Yeah, the people you attract, you're going to attract people all day due to your Venus and Mars, but in the act of sex, y'all friction may not be as well as somebody that you may have cheated on that person with. So yeah, you may have married that person and attracted that person all day based upon y'all Venus and Mars and moon and shit, but at the same time, your ass still cheated with someone who was completely wrong for your life. And letting everybody know you fucking with this person may burn all kind of bridges, burn all kind of friendships, family members, and all kind of shit. Yet, you still on the creep cheating with this person. Why is that? See? It's the friction. So this is why you have to understand the friction. Even like, let's say Capricorn. Capricorn, that's Cardinal, and then that's Saturn. So that's initiating and creating things in reality. Hardcore, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of times these people like the reality of sex. They build structure in their life. A lot of times they may build a relationship with someone just purely off sex. Ain't got nothing to do with the emotions and feelings. A Capricorn would be like, man, I don't even really like this person like that. I'm not really emotionally connected with this person, but I'm always call this person because I fuck the shit out this person though. You see what I'm saying? So with Capricorns, they could be all about business. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them might turn into porn stars and Tauruses and shit. Tauruses and Capricorns. But yeah, I'm gonna cut this video because I gotta be out. But for the most part, yeah, keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? Capricorns is Saturn and Cardinal. So they initiate and create structure with it. So they try to gain structure in their life based upon these things. So a lot of times they may build a friendship just off sex. But once that person start to get too serious, you know what I'm saying, that make the Capricorn may back off a little bit. Unless the Capricorn see the reality of the relationship, and then y'all got other planets that's correlating. But as far as in the middle of having sex, that's how the Capricorns look at it. You see what I'm saying? Then you got a bunch of other different things. But we go to Leo, all kind of shit. But Flight Boss, bitch, you know, for sure. Goddamn air.